Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, dudes and dudettes. It is here. We got a little different backdrop here because we got a little different conversation, but we know it's going to be awesome like all the other ones. We're doing a little feature this week on some barbecue, and we got a real special guest here with us that kind of took TikTok by storm with the help of his now wife, fiance at the time of her helping him. She surprised him with a TikTok account, only hoping to get a few thousand followers, and it has since continued to blow up since he has taken over up close. Now is coming in on 40,000 followers, but that doesn't mean he doesn't know what he's doing behind the grill or the smoker or whatever it is in the kitchen. He knows what he's doing. At least it looks good on camera. That's all you have to do here on social media, but I'm sure it tastes delicious because it looks like he's like me, hasn't missed too many supper plates. So without further ado, our guest of honor tonight on Dude Sessions, Tim from Big Red's Kitchen. What's up, Red?
What's going on, man? How you doing? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for bringing that beard with you too, man. I was worried. I'm like, man, he better not cut that thing.
I mean, my shirt right now, you can't see it, but my shirt says "Beard Lives Matter. Save them, don't shave them."
I can't even read the top half of the beard because your beard's like going down to like down to your chest nips there, man.
Little bit.
I love it. Oh, so how you doing, man? Like what it's the weekend. It's football Sunday. We're recording this here on Sunday night about 7:30. We probably had our dinners in us. What did we cook this weekend? What did we do?
So this weekend I laid back and I kept it simple. I took a little break off of actually smoking, but as I posted some videos, my smoker's giving me some trouble. So I gotta figure out what's going on with that. But what I did is I was still in the kitchen, but I didn't quite cook as far as smoking wise. However, I did an easy lunch that carried over into dinner. And it's like a nice little appetizer for dinner. It's what it is. I actually have it right here.
Oh, he brought show and tell, you dirty dog.
It is a pesto caprese sandwich.
Oh, caprese.
So, all it is very simple. Tomato, fresh mozzarella, and pesto. And that's it. And the pesto
That's it. Isn't that crazy about Italian food? Like it's like normally like 3 or 4 simple ingredients and it's voila. It's done.
But that's if you think about it, it's the same thing with barbecue. You could have whether it be salt, pepper, garlic, and your food is phenomenal. But it's all about how you make it, how you tweak it.
It's crazy. When I first started dabbling into this barbecue world, and I am no pit master, I'm actually more of like a Midwestern style cook. A lot of meat, a lot of potatoes. I'll cook meat in the oven, stovetop, instant pot, slow cooker. I'll put it on the propane, offset, the grill, the flat top. I mean, however we got to get to the finish line, we get there as long as there's meat and potatoes involved. But like you said, since I've gotten into this barbecue world, this whole SPG, and everybody's SPG is different. It's amazing how many different flavors of SPG. Our good friend Barbecue Ray, amazing SPG. But then we have my good friend down in the Fuego Lento, smoked salt, a mesquite smoked S&P. Like it's crazy the different flavor profiles. So is that what kind of draws you into barbecue here, Tim? I mean, is that what makes barbecue so cool and exciting to you like it is for me? There's just so many different ways to do it. You never have to do the same way twice.
So for me, my favorite thing about barbecue is just that. There's so many different ways to do one dish. And it's like if you love ribs, you can do ribs your way and they come out great. But if you tweak it a little bit and you find things that work for you, you go a different way and you start flying in that groove. And like you said, you have so many different flavor guys out there. Like I've seen red beer seasonings. I've seen
shout out. Nice.
Yeah,
nicely done, man. Look at you. You're a pros pro.
You got barbecue sauce out there. You got Ray's out there, and that's just some of the few. But then you got some of the guys you see in the stores, like Kinder. Kinder has some really, really, really good stuff, and they're not expensive at all. You don't have to go online to buy them. You can go right into the store.
Right.
To answer your question, yeah, that kind of drew me in. Is food is like barbecue is the food that brings everyone together. No matter what, it's like Italian food. It brings everyone together. If you're
Yes,
cooking a big spread, everyone's coming to the table.
love it.
So I just love food. So
I mean, and isn't it kind of funny barbecue? If you're like a true barbecuer, you never actually make it to the finish line at dinner. You're too busy snacking and sampling the whole day.
you're
You're
full.
so filled up with samples and Busch Lights and Budweisers as you're drinking that you get more enjoyment out of watching everyone else sink their teeth into the food
Exactly.
than you, because you're like, I already know it's good. I've been eating it all day. Like, I'm full. Like, let everybody else hog out.
About a month or two back, I cooked 3 racks of ribs, and we brought them over our neighbor's house. And now, again, I was snacking on those ribs. As once they were done and I cut them up, I'm snacking on the ribs. So I was filled off those ribs, and I'm watching people eat it, and I'm just getting the enjoyment from their face. They're like, "Oh my God, this is incredible." So I agree with that statement. You know, when you watch people eat your food and they say this food is amazing, that's all you need.
Oh man, I love playing with ribs. I mean, I hate traditional ribs. I can't tell you the last time I did a rack of ribs the way that everyone else does. Like pork is like one of the most awesome flavor meats to work with on different flavors because there's so many different things that you can do to it that you can't do with beef. Like yesterday, I did smoked lemon pepper ribs with like some chipotle in them. I've done cinnamon maple syrup ribs that were phenomenal. I mean, what's your favorite meat to work with in barbecue? Like mine's clearly pork. I am a pork guy. It's affordable. I hate beef barbecue because I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm balling on a budget up here, and $70 briskets for a Saturday cook for a family of 4 just doesn't quite fit that budget like a $20 pulled pork does.
And if you're one of those people that are living day to day, paycheck to paycheck, that $70 really is not where you're gonna put your money.
Right.
And I'm gonna agree with you. I'm pork
Okay.
butt, pork ribs, pork loins. It's just easier to work with, and it's more affordable. You're I love pork butt. You know, you put it in for 3 4 hours to start it, get the bark going. You keep going for 5 6 hours, and you wrap it, put it in for another 3 hours, and you're done. I see
Right.
people do it in 5 hours, but everyone's different.
Are you a baby back or a spare rib guy?
I'm a baby back.
Me too.
I'm
Even
a
though the
baby.
spares got more meat on it and you get more bang for your buck,
The
it's
spares
something. It's
definitely,
what is it about the baby back? And I'll tell you mine.
for me, the baby back is one. Honestly, I can't find spare ribs where I'm at.
Oh,
They
really?
only have baby back where I'm located. I've only
Interesting.
seen
And you're in
baby
North
back.
Carolina, right?
Yeah, I've only seen baby back, and it's weird because North Carolina is a pork state.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
But I mean, unless it's the store that I'm going to, I've gone to 3 stores and they all only have baby back.
Wild. That is wild. Yeah. See, that's what I love about our network on social media is that, like, we have our friend Doobie Smokehouse down in New Mexico. Shout out Doobie. I mean, we got our friend Too Much Welding in Missouri. Shout out him. We got friends up in Washington, Oregon. We got a lot of guys down in Texas, North Carolina, Georgia. I don't know about you, but I love asking people like their meat prices, what's available, like what kind of cuts of meat do you get down there that I can't get up here in Ohio because I want to play with all kinds of I want to do it all. I'm with you on the baby back. I like the simplicity of the baby backs. I feel like there's less for like a quick cook, like it's just less messy. It's nice on the presentation. And maybe that's just me being like an Instagrammer now, like I don't really care. Like I need it to look pretty and it needs to cut nice. Like, so like the baby backs is like, because I'm still a novice. I don't know how to make the trims of the spare ribs all that great, where it looks the same as baby backs when you're done with it. Like, I mean, I know it's something I can learn, but man, the baby backs is just it's simple. I love simple.
Now, let me ask you a question on the baby backs. Do you pull the membrane off or you leave it on?
I always pull the membrane. Always pull it.
So that's weird, man, because I've seen so many people just score the membrane, and I don't. I rip it off. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
mean, I guess scoring it, but yeah, I don't understand. Maybe it like helps hold moisture in. I think. I mean, there's got to be
I
a
don't know.
reason, right?
There has to be, but I've always been, I've always done the, removing the membrane.
And I'm going to argue with the moisture point because if you do it low enough, like no moisture should be leaving your meat if you're doing a low 250 and under. You know, do you do 3-2-1?
I do 3-2-1.
Yeah, I do the keyboard. I just eyeball it. And I wrap it. And like, yes, I do a dry. I'm more of like a dipping sauce guy. Like, cause it's easy. It's less messy to put away and pull out of the container. When you're out walking around at 3 a.m, you need a little snack at night. It's just easier just to grab one with no sauce on it, and just wolf it down real quick.
Now you fall off the bone. You like a little tug.
I like a little tug. I like that steak-like texture, like pork chop-like texture. I don't want mushy. But the rack I did yesterday, man, I swear, like I pulled the bones right out. Like the bones literally rose to the top. I had never had that happen before. And the meat was still like a pork chop style meat. So I was like, okay. I'm like, well, hell, that was the best of both worlds. That's cool. Like it was the first time I was able to present a boneless slab of rib meat. And I'm like, well, that's kind of sweet. So I don't know. It may have swayed me a little bit. That was pretty nice. Because then you have the meat you can do for like a shepherd's pie, all the leftover meals.
Okay. See, I'm a little bit of both. Sometimes I like a nice little tug. Other times I like to just remove the meat and just go to town with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. This next beer is now brought to you by Ghost Fire Grills, a veteran company out of Maryland. They keep sending me koozies, and I'm like, I don't really have a fridge down here in my basement yet, so they all just get like a little koozie. So I was like, well, if you're going to send me your koozie, you're going to get a shout out. So here we go.
Fair enough.
Hey, speaking of shout outs, I think there is someone in your life that we all owe a special shout out to. And you'll have to say her name because I don't think we've if you said it, I've missed it. But the story here with everybody that doesn't know, then you've lived under a rock on TikTok because it really took TikTok by storm, especially in the barbecue community. Is Tim here was surprised by his fiance at the time, now wife, if I'm got that mistaken. Correct me here at the end of this. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but we were supposed to be married in November 2020, but we just say that we're married because we're at the point, screw it. But I'll let you go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, it don't matter. Marriage is nothing but a piece of paper. So his wife by soul created this account for him and did this beautiful montage of this handsome devil over here with this luscious red beard of all his delicious meats he's slapping around and taking photos with and moving down North Carolina saying, hey, let's give him a follow. And then she found out the underestimated power of the barbecue community and surprised him with, I don't think it was, her goal was 5K, but then it ended up being like, I don't know what, just tell what her goal was. And it ended up being like one of the coolest things. And then she filmed his reaction like, hey, here's your TikTok account that's got 5,000, that's got like 5 digits on it.
So her initial number she wanted was around Christmas time. She originally wanted like 500 followers. She didn't expect what she got. And I think it was on day 2 that she realized that she needs to hand the account over because it's now approaching double digits as far as thousands wise. And she's like, surprise, I got a surprise for you. I'm like, what? I'm pregnant. I'm like, what's going on? So this entire time before she recorded it, and then she started recording, I'm like, why are you recording me? And then she showed me, and I was blown away. It was actually, there's a blooper reel. The video that you guys saw was actually the second video.
Oh no, you dropped some haymakers on the first one, didn't you?
No, the first one was like, I had no words. I'm like, how, what? And then I finally formulated sentences, and that's when that video was posted out. And it was just, I was blown away.
And what's her name? We still haven't said her name yet.
Her name is Trisha.
Trisha! Hey, Trisha. We appreciate you, Trisha. We love you, Trisha.
Definitely, a very, very big rock in this whole thing. Yes. And without her, I would not be where I'm at, getting messages from people and having this many followers. And it's incredible.
Yeah, it was real when I came across it. I was late to the party, and I knew that I always did this here, and I was like, at first I was like, man, like what? I want to keep this good thing going for him. Like I want to get him on the show. And then I was like, get to watch it. I'm like, screw that, man. This boy can cook. Like, I just want to know what he does, man. Like, I want to hear his secrets. Like, because everyone's like, okay, like, hey, she puts you on the spot. Now we were all kind of waiting, like, now let's see if he can actually cook.
she put me on the spot, and
I mean, dude, like, real quick, sorry. Like my first video, I had like 200-300 followers when like I had 100 views, like a big deal. Your first cook was like in front of like 20,000 people.
Yeah,
holy cow!
It has gone up since then, and I love to cook, whether it be smoking in the kitchen, in the oven, whatever. Like you said, if whatever it takes to get to the end zone, as far as prepping the meat and getting it on the table and eating it, I love to do it. And I try to carry that into as far as smoking wise.
Now you come from New York originally, and now you're down in North Carolina. And then the video, it's like Trisha was saying how you came down North Carolina where barbecue is huge, and you kind of dove into it. So now, what has been, so you're kind of in the same boat as me, like Midwestern, like meat and potatoes kind of state, Ohio, New York, a lot of similarities in our style of food if you're off the coast, of course. And but then when you get into barbecue, you find some things that kind of carry over, like in your head, like, okay, well, that method makes sense because it's like this in the kitchen. What was your style of cooking before North Carolina came into your life? What was your go-to way to cook a meal a New York way?
As far as barbecue wise,
just like how you cook, like when you went down to cook a dinner, because you really got into barbecue in North Carolina. So like when you wanted to do like pulled pork in New York, like did that method change when you moved to North Carolina, or did you have that smoker that you always used in New York?
So that smoker I actually bought when I was here, and I've watched videos and I've done a couple of things in New York as far as grilling wise. I tried my hand at smoking in New York when I was in Long Island and never really panned out too well. Then when I got the right equipment and I started seeing things. I had a couple of fails before I had successes.
Gotta fail. You have to. You have to fail.
My first pork butt ever, I was foolish, and I was like, let me look up online how to do this because I don't want to mess it up. And the recipe said, do this. I did just that, and it came out horrible. I'm like, I'm never doing that again. And you have to fail. And but as far as New York, there's barbecue spots in New York that I've saw how they do things. Their sauces that they use and everything else kind of picks up, but down here it truly, I feel I blew up more, and I was in tune more with it. I got more into it.
Yeah, I mean North Carolina. Do you like the North Carolina style sauces where it's a lot of vinegar based? I love Carolina Gold sauce. I love Carolina Gold sauce.
I'm a vinegar guy. I do like. I'm not sure if it's Memphis style, Texas style, but the thicker sauce
Okay.
I'm I'm still trying to whole demographics. I know Carolina's is
I'm
vinegar.
still, hey man, I'm still trying. I know Memphis is like a real dry rub, and then they dip it in the sauce. Where Texas is more of like a sticky. They do more of a sticky sauce down in Texas.
I think the sticky one is probably it doesn't do wonders from a beard, but
Hey, I bet it does. That's cologne.
if I dude, if I was to dabble into that, I'd be all for it. But as far as vinegar sauce, I love it. It's good. If it's done right, it's really good.
Yes, yes. No, I absolutely love it. Absolutely. Um, so what like you want New York, North Carolina, what similarities did you find? Like,
Similarity, you have so North Carolina, you guys are or down here is very slow. The pace is very slow. You don't rush the cook process. It's very slow. Up in New York is
cutting corners.
get it in, get it out, pump it in, pump it out, quick, get it done. There's very few guys that, there's a lot of barbecue joints up there, but some of them are mainly from down here. They're not from up there.
All right. What's if you go out now, if you got to go out on town and you didn't have to cook and you got to choose any barbecue, is on the house. What's old Big Red going up to?
If I had to go night on town, any barbecue,
Any barbecue. Are we going brisket? We going whole chicken? We going to Yardbird? What are we doing?
I'm thinking I'm gonna stay truthful to Old Faithful pork butt.
Ooh, we're gonna slap a butt.
It worked for me.
Yeah. Have you ever tried the picnic roast?
I have not.
It's a little bit of a bitch. It's a little bit of a bitch, but it's all right though. It's all right. My first one I ever did was a picnic roast. I didn't know no better. I was like, oh, I got pulled pork, and they're like, oh, it's a picnic roast. That sucks. Because I think the skin's a lot harder to score on it. It was a real pain. But pulled the bone right out of it. It's a lot easier with that blade in the butt.
Right.
So if you started what's next? Okay, so Trisha presents you with this account. You're like, holy shit. I got 20, 30,000 followers now. All my videos are getting like thousands and thousands and thousands of views. So now you've had time to digest it. It's digested. Now you got to plug forward. She gave you this beautiful gift. Now you're trying to take that gift to the next level. What is the next level for Tim? Where are we going with this, man? I doubt this is going to be the first time we're going to see you on here. So what are we circling back on here in a few months?
I'm going hot and heavy. I'm gonna, keep it simple, keep it original, and I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna keep doing barbecue, but I'm also gonna bring it inside the house and cook on the stove and in the oven. Because there's a lot of people, and that's one thing I found out. There's a lot of people on here that want stovetop, oven, and why not? I love to cook all the ways, so why not?
Man, I'm telling you, man, it's smart. It's a smart play. So does that mean that you kind of want to what's your goal with the account? Are you trying to get it to where it's a brand? You want like Red's Kitchen to be like a brand one day? Or are you just happy just cooking for the people and hope they like it?
Honestly, I think that's anyone's main goal is if they're cooking and they have something, their ultimate goal is to be eventually a brand. Now, don't get me wrong, I would love that. Absolutely love that.
Right.
But I'm trying to be very humble and just step by step.
Absolutely. No, it's smart.
Nothing. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, you know what? Hey, it's okay.
I love that you take that approach to it, man, because people rush it. People expect that overnight success. And I think it's great that you understand like what happened with Trisha. Like we all loved it. Like, I mean, it was awesome. It was so cool to see. But some people could like kind of let that get to their head. And it's great that you were like, listen, like I just have a great platform to start showing what I can do with. And and like some people can hit the ground running, but it's good that you are it's cool to always hear the humble approach. It's always nice to hear the humble approach because I mean, hell, that's what I downplay every compliment I've ever had in my life. It drives my wife crazy, but I can't take nice things said about me. It ruins the narrative of having that chip on my shoulder because I got to be pissed at somebody at all times, man. I got to have that. Like, I'm going to show him,
It happens. We get that moment.
Yeah, it's toxic masculinity. I have it,
I can't think of one guy that doesn't have it.
We do our best. We put on a good show. Our wives love us. We love our wives. We try our hardest to change them. At the end of the day, sometimes you just gotta let the big dog eat.
100%. 100%.
So what do you got coming up here in 2022?
2022 is going to be a lot more of, for me, I'm taking it back to comfort for me. When I think of food I grew up on.
Yeah. What is that?
So for me, my go-to for comfort is big filling dishes. You got baked ziti, you got chicken cutlet parm.
Oh.
It's just a big.
Oh, keep going. Don't stop now. I'm just getting going. Don't stop with the chicken cutlet. I need more.
Lasagna.
Oh.
And it's just the big dishes that are surrounded by Italian families that just fill you up.
You don't look Italian.
I'm Italian and Irish. I know. I'm Irish.
Your belly can take on anything if you're Irish and Italian.
Yeah.
You can eat like rotten olives and chase it down with like a moldy potato and still be cool. My
diet is meat and potatoes. What's funny is my wife's father calls me a Mick. I'm like, but I'm Italian. He's like, no, you're not. You're a Mick. All right, fine.
I mean, you might have a soul, but it doesn't hang around your beard area.
No, there's nothing here.
It's gone, man. So now, did you grow up on a lot of casseroles or just like Italian like Italian baked dishes? It sounds like you were heavy Italian.
My mom brought us up on a lot of heavy Italian dishes. Like when I say heavy Italian, it's like my wife's family is heavy Italian, but my mom was just baked ziti, chicken cutlet parm. You got a couple of comfort dishes in there like beef stroganoff.
I love stroganoff. Yeah, beef stroganoff's good.
Oh yeah, beef stroganoff is a go-to.
See, I grew up on a dairy. Like my wife makes fun of me, but I grew up on a dairy farm. My dad milked like 60 head of cattle. I mean, it was dump dinner central, man. Like everything was casserole, slow cooker all day, which I hated because it was all mushy and stuff. But like, it was just like, it was literally, we gardened, like, every year our garden supply for a couple of those years I remember is like, we had to go out in the fall and dad like dug up all the potatoes, and as kids we'd go around and pick all the potatoes out of dirt, put them in buckets, and that was our potatoes for the year. Like, so with me it was always meat potatoes. Like it's very, very Midwestern. So I have just enjoyed, like right now it's like I'm asking you questions like Long Island. Like I've never really talked to anybody that grew up in Long Island. So to hear of like the Italian fusion with that, and it's like you always hear of like the 5 Points, the boroughs up there, and not in Long Island, but over in like Queens, where you had the Irish, all the Italian immigrants coming in, and it seems like you guys had that fusion, and you grew up on all that style foods. That's really fascinating, man. And I'm glad that you're going to share those recipes because I'm sure you got some of Grandma's recipes that are near and dear, man. You're ready to start sharing some of them with the world.
Here's the funny thing about my great grandmother's recipes. Unfortunately, nobody has those. She refuses. She's a stubborn Sicilian, and she refuses to share them with anyone. And those are the things that if you didn't watch her cook it, you didn't learn it. And those recipes that's wayside. But my mom's recipes, they're just simple, inexpensive, and good. Um, but the funny thing is, I'm gonna touch back really quick.
No, please do.
When the account, like when you talk about the account being given to me and whatnot, there's one thing that I feel I need to talk on.
Yeah.
I took like a little hiatus, if you would. I had to, because when I first had the account, there's one thing that about me that people don't realize. I'm a perfectionist, and I put a lot of pressure on myself to, meet the bar. The bar was set up here, so I had to be up here.
Yeah, you had to go one up that.
It got to the point where my mental health was taking a gigantic hit, and then on top of that, my bills were here. So it's like, so I took a hiatus, but I'm trying to work my way back into it, and we're getting ready to go, and we're getting ready to gear up again and start pumping out more stuff.
I love it, man. I love that you again, dude. You failed in a way. You tried to set unrealistic expectations, but now you know. And it's unfortunate that you had that stage, where you had a lot of billing to live up to. And because like I just kind of, when I was telling you just then, I kind of like put it out there what you probably already knew. Like there's a lot of eyes waiting to see what you came up with.
A lot. And the thing is, and like I said to you before we started recording, you see the 3-minute video, but what you don't see is the 4 hours of editing, the 4 hours of frustration it takes to get that 3-minute video to where it's supposed to be or where you want it to be. And for me, I had 7 videos, if not more, that were not past that bar. I didn't post it. And that's here.
Yeah. It's one thing I learned, man. Just send it, dude. Just let them eat it. I mean, you'll find out that the community is really supportive, even on your flops. Actually, some people really respect you when you post your flops because they know you're not. It makes you real. It makes you approachable. It makes you just like them. It's easy, and I know I'm bad about that. Like I know I've had a couple really big long cooks on the whole day that tasted like total dog poop, and I just didn't even post them. When in reality, I should have been like, "Here's my dog poop." Like the bacon I did on Instagram a couple weeks ago. There's a lot of people looking forward to the results, and I could have easily said like, "Oh, it was delicious." It was terrible. It was so damn salty because I forgot to rinse the salt off before I smoked it. And and like I failed, like I'll never make that mistake again. But like I shared it, and everyone's like, "Hey man, like we're gonna get through this. Like next time you got it." And I'm like, you know what? Damn right, next time I will. But now more people are actually invested in the baking process because I was just upfront with like, "Hey man, like you're learning with me because I botched it." So I mean, my words of advice to you would be just embrace it, man. If it sucks, I sucked tonight. I don't care. Yep. I'm still eating. At least I get to eat food.
The video that we I recorded today that I just put up, part 1 of 2.
Okay.
The first part of that video, there's a blooper, and I could have deleted it, but I was like, you know what? My wife, who is the rock of everything, was like, just post it. I'm like,
for sure.
She's like, post it. I'm like, okay, fine. So you'll see the blooper, and it's funny. I think it's funny. It brings, like you said, it brings realism to what it is. And that's just me being a goofball in the kitchen.
Yeah, dude. Embrace it, man. Be who you are. Because the minute people, like, you can tell when someone's, like, not being genuine. And I'm like, man, that person's going to fizzle out. Because eventually they're going to get tired of being someone they're not. You can only fake it till you make it for so long. Eventually it catches up to you. To where you have to make a choice like, this is no more than a job that I hate doing because that's not what I want to be. So have you learned kind of like the direction that's your style, that have you found that out yet? Or are you still playing around with some different methods to figure out which way you're going to go with these?
Men's. I'm still trying to, go through the sand and find my rut, find my groove that I can stick with. But what you just said about, fizzling out and not really, more faking it and then breaking it at one point, that's what happened to me because I tried, it was like I tried doing like a robot. You know, they want this, boom, 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 and over time, I got burned out, and I couldn't do it.
It's easy.
And
It's easy.
You know, I did this for fun, and if this turns into something more than just fun, like I said, I'm all for it. But the minute it turns into a challenge, and I feel like I'm at work, I got to take a step back.
Yep, cut the cord, man.
Back.
You know, and it's funny how we all go through that growth of what we think we want out of this, and then what actually ends up coming out of this. I remember when I got like my first brand ambassadorship, I thought it was like the most amazing thing in the world. I was like, oh my God. And then I realized that a lot of other companies were willing to give me a brand ambassadorship. And I'm like, well, this is amazing. And next thing you know, I felt like I had like 8, 9 companies. And I'm like, okay, like this is impossible. This is absolutely impossible. I was like, how do I grow from this when like I have so many commitments that I'm just not able to keep up with? So then like I had to make the tough decision of like backing it down. So it's really hard learning on here, man. It's so hard. But I mean, have you had that happen yet to where you're like, I think this is the way I want to go, and then you're like, oh, like whoa, backtrack. That's not the way I want to go.
Oh yeah. And it's, you know, I've gone ways where I've been like, oh, this person wants me to be a brand ambassador. I'm all for it. Let's do it. And then I look, and my work schedule starts picking up. I'm like, whoa. Let me take a step back for a second. And I reach out to that person. Hey, right now, times can't match up. I gotta hold off. And you know, it is what it is, and it worked out for the better. But you know, good things are hopefully going my way, and I'm gonna keep going on the track I'm going.
Well, Tim, it sounds like you got a good damn grasp on everything, man. You know, we're all in your corner, and I know you're all in our corner. We're all in this together, man. I know you're probably no more than either one of us or anybody in the group. At the end of the day, we want everybody to make it. We'd love everybody no more that puts in the adequate time and effort to be lifestyles of the rich and famous, slinging some barbecue brisket, is living their best life. But no, it's been great to have you on here. It's been fun to get to this is a fun interview for me because all my other guys that come on here, like I've known them forever. Like you and I have texted, you know, but this is the first time that we've really heard your voice in person. So this has been like a real cool thing to where I've actually been able to get to know you like live, like in front of everybody. So this has been awesome, man. And I hope you come back. I hope that, you know, we can do like a joint cooking show at some point. I know we talked about it, but both our lives are pretty freaking hectic, so we won't commit to that. But let's just say if it works out one night when it does happen, let's do it.
I'm all for it.
Let's go, man. I want to get some of that Long Island baked ziti in my life, man. I need it. And I'll show you my shepherd's pie. But at the end of the day, Tim, thank you so much for coming on here. I know it's been a blast. It's been an absolute honor to get to talk to you. I'm glad I know Trisha's name. Trisha's awesome. You have to tell her off camera here. Like we thank her for doing something so cool to show hope in humanity. That was kind of cool to see everybody actually joining together for a change. So thank her for saving our nation. She probably saved our whole country.
She probably did.
Yeah. We would.
She's on the other end of the camera right now, just dancing around.
Yeah, I know. I see you keep looking at her, so I'm just like showering her with love to make you awkward. Your eye contact game is terrible, but we're gonna work on it, Tim. We're gonna get there.
It happens.
Hey, don't come on here with the salesman, man. I always read the eyes. It's all in the eyes, man. But Tim, we appreciate you. Trisha, we love you too. Ladies and gentlemen, dudes and dudettes, Tim from Big Red Kitchen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.